Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm back here, Super Ninja Austin, and this is episode 63 of the SNA podcast. We're going to talk about the latest edition of AEW Collision, the review of AEW Collision Part 8. Let's begin. And we're going to start off today with the AEW Tag Team Championship. On the line, it's FTR and defending their tag team gold against the absolute Ricky Starks and Big Bill. And man, this was the second shocking tag team match I ever saw of the night. Like, or if not in all of professional wrestling this year so far. I'll say the second shocking match. And you're going to see exactly what I mean when I talk about it in the recap of this match tonight. And to start off with, I believe was Dax Harwood and Ricky Starks. He tried to go for, I believe, either a pile driver or a power bomb. This is where Ricky Stark got flipped by Uncle Dax Harwood. This is where Starks hitting double chops right into the chest of Ricky Starks, making it onto the list of Gunther's envious onto wrestlers trying to use his move, the deadliest chops in all of professional wrestling. This is where he started getting them with chops. The Ricky Starks continuing the envious of Gunther. This is where Big Bill came in. This is where he hits a gigantic uppercut right onto Uncle Dax. This is where it threw him right out of the ring. This is where Big Bill started raising his hand up, saying like, this is what we all about. And this is where Ricky Starks like, get him right here. And then this is where he started pointing towards, I believe, Cash Wheeler, I believe. And then this is where the commentator's like, what? Like, what do he mean by that? Like, what is he doing here? This is where Big Bill said, get out. This is where he told the security guard, like, yeah, back up out of the way. This is what Big Bill did. This is where he chokeslammed Cash Wheeler to get him out of the match. This is like a complete squash match. I was like, wow, like, I thought I would never seen nobody do that to FTR, despite their size and then compared to Big Bill. Like, I would not expect this. Like, not even like not even last week when they were in that 8-man tag match. It was this bad. And this is where Big Bill was getting ready to get in position. This is where he tried to hit a splash right onto the top on the bottom right, left corner of Tina the Turnbuckle. Dax Hart would move out of the way. He hits face first right into the top rear of the ring post. This is where Dax Harwood hits a right strike right into Rick Stark off the apron on his corner. This is where he tried to do another splash onto their corner into the top left corner of Tina the Turnbuckle. Dax Harwood did once again no selling, learning from Samoa Joe, and he hits face first right onto Tina the Turnbuckle. This is where Dax Harwood was getting ready to do a maneuver. This is where Dax Harwood would try to go for his idol's finishing move, which is the sharpshooter. This is where Big Bill kicks him a push kick right onto the Dax Harwood, and when he tried to get back up, he just ran into hit a big boot right onto Dax, like if he was a runaway train. And then this one, he went straight down, like boom, like okay, night. This is where Ricky Starks was like, all right, tag me in, Bill. This is where he's like, and then what's that like, you know what? Wait just a second. Like, you choke slam him. This is exactly what Big Bill did. This is where he ran a straight down choke slam. This is where he's like, again, do it again. Like, I demand you do it again. He's like, okay, like, whatever you say so, you the boss. I was like, yeah, like, you sound like the criminals on cartoons and comedy movies, like where the short guy is the boss and the smarter one, while the assistant and the employee is the tall, big one that's not really the smart one. This is where he went for the choke slam. Like, but I'm not saying they're idiotic or criminals, but I'm saying this is the way they were doing is this heel gimmick. But anyway, this is where he choke slammed again. This is where Ricky Starks like, again. This is where he's like, one more time. I'm begging you one more time. This is where he starts smiling maniacally. He's like, all right, whatever you say. I'll do it again. This is like looking at his way. This where Big Bill picks him up, goes for a choke slam one last time, slamming him in the most devastating way that anybody hit a choke slam in professional wrestling. This was like, okay, one more time. Fans are saying, boo, like, I thought you said that was the final time. Like, you hypocrite. And then, the fans didn't call him hypocrite, but that's what it basically would sound like. This is where he hits an uppercut and he tags him in. He's like, and I was like, okay, this makes sense. Like, because he wants to do the choke slam along with Ricky Starks, something similar to last week, where he started running around 2 times in a row. This is where he run around 2 times in a row through the ropes. This is where Big Bill had him choke slam, spears Uncle Dax with him choke slamming for the 1, 2, 3. And yes, sir, in shocking fashion, just like the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships, we got some new Tag Team Championships in All Elite Wrestling. And they're the new AEW World Tag Team Champions. The absolute Ricky Starks and his bodyguard, Big Bill. And what do you think about this title change, this shocking title change in AEW? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And do you think was it needed or not? I'm gonna let y'all decide on that. But this is where we get move on to the next and they're celebrating all over the arena. Well, not everywhere, except for, I would say everywhere except for the audience, of course, obviously. But this where they show the recaps where Powerhouse Hobbs turned into the newest member of Team Family, Don Callis family. This is where it's been announced for Title Tuesday. It will be him against Chris Jericho in a match to get some vengeance for him and Omega. Here's where we move on to the next match, which is Bryan Danielson taking on Kyle Fletcher. And I'll say for Kyle Fletcher being known as a tag team, it showed that he can be a single star if needed, or be in singles action, I should say, if needed. And he passed that particular test into this match right here tonight on AEW Collision. And this is where we're going to start off right here with the American Dragon taking on the former IWGP, New Japan Strong, and Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion Kyle Fletcher. One half of the Aussie Open even. This is where, let's see right here. I'm trying to see what exactly went down. This is where Bryan Danielson, this is when they were in amateur style. This is where he tried to go for this is where Kyle Fletcher tried to go some kind of a head scissoring maneuver onto Bryan Danielson. This is where he catches him into a back suplex position, but Kyle Fletcher got him to a headlock. He pushes him right to the other side of the ropes. This is where he tried to catch him. This is where he gets hit by Kyle Fletcher with a shoulder tackle. And this is where he hits a side swiping kick right onto Bryan Danielson. This is Bryan Danielson like, oh no, you didn't. Right to his face, and he's like, yeah, like I gotta be at least like 30 times ahead of you right now, like. And this is where he's like, I'm beating him at his own game. Like, this is where he telling the fans started being arrogant. This is where they grab their hands, try to do a hand squeezing off. This is where they got both hands and they try to squeeze who can get the upper hand and the upper shoulders and arms, which Kyle Fletcher kind of did at one point, brought him down. But this is where Bryan Danielson flip and rolled and tripped Kyle Fletcher out of his grasp. This is where Bryan Danielson started grabbing onto his legs. This is where he tried to go for some kind of go for his signature leg stomps and try to go for that stretch. This is where he grabs onto the ropes. Aubrey Edwards like, okay, so he's on the ropes, rope break, and this is where Kyle Fletcher gets back up. This is where they go back like where they were starting, went back to this, and this is where they started grabbing onto their hand, going to a grab claws off. This is where they doing the grappling maneuvers. This is where Kyle Fletcher puts Bryan Danielson right into the corner. This is where he was like, gives gives Bryan Danielson a nasty chop, hits him with a body slam, and a side swipe kick right to the back of the American Dragon. This is where Kyle Fletcher smirked into a maniacal manner. He was like, well, are you gonna ask him to forfeit this match? Like, this is what Kyle Fletcher arrogantly said to Aubrey Edwards. Like, this is where Bryan Danielson was not letting him gonna get into his head and have him win regardless. This is where Kyle Fletcher's like, okay, this is their last chance. This is where they got into the grappling game. This is where Bryan Danielson got the upper hand this time, twisted his arm right onto his left socket. This is where he started squeezing it out. This is where Kyle Fletcher reversed and rolled and then hits a twist the arm on his own, turn it into a headlock. This is where Bryan Danielson counters and puts him right to the corner. This is where he throws him right to the other side. This is where Danielson ducks and then goes for a knee right into the midsection. This is where, excuse me for a sec. Hello? That is him upstairs. Hello? Are you there? It was the stew. It was making stove stew. Bye-bye. All right. He said, I was making sure y'all check it out if you all doing all right. And if y'all keeping warm and y'all have the heat on. I was like, yeah. We sort of do. Yeah, or we don't have the heat on, but I meant to say, like, yeah. I just told him that, yeah. You know, like, it's whatever, yeah. Like, because he can overwork something. Go back to YouTube TV. Okay, I'm back. Talk about the recaps of Collision, AEW. All right, let's talk more about the AEW. What went down? Come on. understand why he's acting like this. Sorry I'm taking so long. I'm trying to get my mini source to here to re-upload, but it's not uploading. Okay. This is where he hits a leg. This is where he hits a single slide kick. That's right. This is where he tried to finally go for the that leg, that turned his leg around. This is where he puts his legs connected to grab onto his arms and stretched him right on the top, right onto his head. This is where he trying to counter, but he slides right up and bends him. And he's like, and this is where Aubrey Edwards asked Kyle Fletcher, saying like, "Do you surrender?" He's like, "No, I'm never." This is where he got out of the hole. This is where Brian Danielson hits a couple of lefts and right hits. This is where he saws him down. This is where he tried to pins a Kyle Fletcher. This is where he got the 2 count. This is where he started doing an arm stretch right onto his arm. This is where Kyle Fletcher hits a knee strike right into Danielson's face. This is where Danielson fell out of the ring. This is where he went. And he started trying to get up with the knees up. This is where Kyle Fletcher hit the suicide dive. This is where both men were down. This is where let's see. This is where he got back in the ring. Let's see. Brian Danielson got into the match. This is where he hits the yes kicks. He caught him with the yes kicks. Hit him with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and try to go for that 6 lucky number, which he swings the kick. Looks like he's out even for that move alone. This is where he pins him. This is where Aubrey Edwards counted to 1, counted to 2, and kicks out at 2.7 seconds. And it is where Brian Danielson hits his swinging yes kicks, or he would say the different move of the kicks. This is where he hits a knife-edge chop, a nasty chop. That'll make Eddie Kingston more jealous than Eddie Kingston and Gunther make him more jealous than he is with Eddie Kingston and Dax Harwood or anybody in AEW or WWE combined. This is where he continues with those kicks, looking more devastating than ever. Start doing a pattern, doing the yes kicks and the knife-edge chops. Puts him right on the top rope, getting ready to hit a top rope Hurricane Rana Frankensteiner, which he successfully did so. He even though slowly but surely brought him down in a devastating manner. Brian Danielson was like, yes! Let's go, everybody. This is when Brian Danielson started to do the yes chants, try to go for the running knee, but where Kyle Fletcher was slowly getting up. This is where he hits a drop kick right onto him. This is where he started continuously hitting drop kicks after drop kicks after. But this is where he hits the sliding Instagiri kick when he runs back and try to do another one. And then this is where he catches them into a. Let's see. This is where he try to go for a suplex, or turn to a brain buster. This is where he tried to pin him. He only got 1. He only got 2. But he kicks out at 2.999. That was impressively shocking. This is where he tried to go. This is where both men gets back up. This is where the fans are chanting, "This is awesome." I agree. I'll say perhaps the match of the night because this was very entertaining. This was my pick of the match of the night. And then And I'll say this is underratedly the case. Even though every match was very, I'd say probably like 4 out of 5 matches were pretty good into this episode of Collision. And maybe I would say 4 out of 6, I should say, matches. But yeah, guessing that this is where Kyle Fletcher Irish whip him right to the other side. This is where he's trying to go for his comeback move, where he flips over the top rope right and goes right over his Kyle Fletcher and right behind him. This is where he catches him in the super kick right after he done that. This is where he does the point like until he was about if he was about to shoot him, and he went right trying to hit him with a gentleman's drop kick around the upper right corner of Tina the turnbuckle. Bryan Danielson move out of the way. This is where he hits the rope and crash and burns his knees and legs right onto the top rope. This is where he started grabbing on his legs, screaming in agony. This is where Bryan Danielson gets back up from ducking down. This is where Bryan Danielson took advantage of returning. I mean, not returning, of coming back by with a flying clothesline, I believe. This is where he was down after doing the maneuver like that. This is where he thought. This is where Kyle Fletcher does this point up to the sky. This is where Bryan Danielson was trying to get back up from getting hit with such a maneuver. This is where Kyle Fletcher does the point again and hits a back leg kick right onto Bryan Danielson, right to the back. Bryan Danielson walk and stumbled and knees down and fell face first. This is where he twists his arm back. This is where he hits a wrist clutch, hammerlock driver, but Bryan Danielson flips out of it. He was about to get ready, looked like about to do the running knee. But before he can do so, this is where Kyle Fletcher tried to run for attack, so he stayed there. He kicks him right to the face. This is where Bryan Danielson was back in the game. This is where he tried to go for, I believe, the knee strike. This is where he gets hit with the most spinning leg drop. I mean, not leg, the most amazing spinning body slam driver maneuver I've ever seen in professional wrestling. And then this is where he tried to go for the pin. Aubrey Edwards went for a 1. He went for a 2. And then he kicks out at 2.8 seconds. This is where Kyle Fletcher goes for crossface and with his knee right to his back, looking like a single knee to the back camel clutch. This is where he goes for a dragon sleeper right onto Danielson's neck. And then this is where he tried to make him tap in that method. And he turns it right to it like a first guillotine, looking like his former teammate Drew Gulak's maneuver. This is where Bryan Danielson tried to roll out of it, trying to get it right off of Calvin. This is where Bryan Danielson smartly put his leg up right onto the ropes. And then that's what broke the submission maneuver with getting the rope break. This is where Aubrey Edwards was like, all right, get off of here before I do the 5 count warning. And then this is where Kyle Fletcher had no choice but to let go, and he landed flat right onto the ground. This is where Kyle Fletcher puts Bryan Danielson right onto the top rope. This is where he tried to go for a back suplex maneuver to the Dragon. But before he did anything like that, he started hitting elbow strikes right to the left shoulder of Bryan Danielson, right off the top rope. And then he started repeatedly doing that like 20 times in a row before he tried to go for a dragon, like a dragon hold suplex right onto the top rope. And he did so, slamming him like front body first into the canvas. This is where he turns it into back to the sleeper. This is when Bryan Danielson like, no, he tried to go for a locked in. This is where he finally rolls out of it. This is where he flips out of it, and then he grabs onto his arms, puts his legs right on top of the back of his legs, back legs on his leg, into the position in the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, which is a surprise roll-up. And I believe this is where he got the 1, 2, 3. And Bryan Danielson did. And then this is where the Mogul Embassy had their minion boys on them, like double teaming him. and start outnumbering the American Dragon. But not too long after, this is where Danielson's BPC boys, Claudio Castagnoli and Willard Yuta, come out of there and start help fighting them off, and hitting them with punches and comeback strike. This is where they close on the big man out of there, and then the smaller man, like smaller buff man, got Cesaro swing, or not Cesaro swing, or nearly was about to get Claudio swing, I should say, Claudio swing. This is where the big man grabbed his Gates of Agony partner out of the ring, and then they ran out like cowards, like with Prince Nana, and then they're like, okay, not tonight, but one night, but not tonight. And this is where they stand up tall, and they're like, come back here. Like, yeah, we're not finished with you yet. But they were. This is where Bryan Danielson raised his hand with his Blackpool Combat Club allies, and then it's been announced that Bryan Danielson taking on fellow home state Washington State man. What's his name? Swerve Strickland. He's going to face him for a shot at Christian Cage's TNT Championship. And then they also announced that later on the night at the end of the show, we got the Rated R superstar Adam Copeland cutting a promo. And then this is where we move on to the next match, which is the Bullet Club goes Rock Hard, Juice Robinson, and the Guns. This is where they show Jay White still have still holding on to the AEW World Championship that he stole from MJF. Hopefully, the Salt of the Earth gets that back because he's rightfully the champion. But anyways, this is where this match against. Let's see who these guys was. It was Angelico, Malik, and Gravity, the three luchadors that are also known as the Weekly Jobbers. That's whether they're on Collision or on AEW Collision or AEW's Rampage. But let's hope this could be a sign that they're going to be used more often than not as enhancement talents. But anyway, this is where we had the match. It started off with Colton Gunn and Gravity. And it's when the fans started, it was Austin Gunn and Gravity. This is where Gravity was slowly walking through, like if he don't have no gravity onto his boots, he's just like there's like moon boots, or astronaut boots, like if he was walking on the moon. And then this is where Austin Gunn was like, really? He's doing this right now? Like, I know this is wrestling, but you don't have to go this far. This is where Gravity's like, okay, now I'm fine with you, and you're gonna get it. And then this is where Austin Gunn's like, okay, I got a Gravity walk myself, and that's Gunn's. And he just struck like, forget it. And then he made him start flying down. This is where This is where they start fighting. This is where he Irish whipped him right into the ropes. This is where he counters and do a flipping arm drag maneuver. This is where he does a kip up. This is where he hits another arm drag. This is where he had him in an arm lock. This is where he twists. This is where he twists the arm of Austin Gunn. This is where he started doing the moonwalk. Not really that moonwalk. I'm talking about like the gravity astronaut kind. This is where he tags in I believe was, which I think he tagged in, which I believe was what's his name, Grand Metalik. And this is where he started going shoulder bumping and chest bumping right onto Juice Robinson. He go back and forth. This is where Juice Robinson picks up Metalik and try to go for a body slam. This is where Metalik counters it, kicks him in the midsection. Irish whips him, but it counter. This is where he try to go for a springboard double Pele kicks. This is where where Juice Robinson tried to go for a clothesline of hell. This is where he hits a super kick in the midsection. This is where he hits a striking right forearm right onto Juice Robinson. This is where he tried to go for an Irish whip, but he countered. He kicks him right into the face. This is where Juice Robinson swing back, and he was like, okay, I gotta take a break now. And this is where he hits that sling blade running bulldog majig like he used to do in WWE. This is where he tried to go for a pinfall, but he only got a 1 count even. This is where Jay White was trying to stay focused in this match and trying to coach his teammates. This is where he tags in Jericho. Angelico, as I say, Angelico, not Jericho. Angelico. This is where he twists the arm. He hits right hook right onto the arm, and then this is where Angelico continuing to twist that arm of Rock Hard Juice Robinson. This is when Juice Robinson's like, He's like, please stop it, and Jericho. And this is where he knees him right into the midsection. This is where he twists the arm of he tags, and this is where Gravity tags himself in. This is where he hits the arm still twist, him bending over for to hit a double foot stomp right into his back. And then this is where Gravity hit the double foot stomp like if he was Finn Balor. This is where what else happens? This is when Gravity's like, come on, everybody. Get up off your feet. Come on. This is where he try to lift up Juice Robinson. He kicks him knees him right in the midsection. This is where he hits a running missile drop kick right onto Colton Gunn. This is where Colton Gunn's like, come on, brother. Let's do this. And this is where he started hitting elbow strikes right into the head of Gravity, poor Gravity. He's not going to stand a chance. I'm not sure he'll know what day it is today, tomorrow, next week, etc. It keeps on going. This is where let's move on to. This is where Colton Gunn picks him back up. This is where before he could hit a strike on him again, this is where he just fell down on his own like if he was Ric Flair. And then this is where he trapped them into a ruse because he tried to get him back up. He grabs him into a small package, which is also known as the most devastating move in all sports entertainment surprise rope. Only got a 1 count out of it. This is where Colton Gunn try to slide in, try to close on. He rolls into a duck. He ducks and rolls. This is where he tags in, I believe, Angelico. This is where he started hitting clotheslines to both Gunn members, Colton and Austin Gunn. And this is where he started hitting clothesline like 4 times in a row. This is where he started doing the comeback move. This is where he tried to go for this is where Juice Robinson tried to close on. He ducks, try to slip. He did a duck like you can't get me. This is where he hits a kick straight right to his face, made him go night-night for 5 minutes straight, perhaps. This is where he catches him. This is where he tried to go for a single leg reverse figure 4, he took it together and spins it back into some kind of a corkscrew dive. He was like, okay, you. And he was like, yeah, you, Austin, you're getting it too. You grabbed me. I was like, yeah, get the other wannabe Super Ninja Austin next to Austin Theory, of course. You Austin's wish to be me. But anyway, that's a story for another day. But he grabs onto his hands. This is where he spins. And this is where he tried to go for a spin back. This is where he got reverse. This is where he got both. This is where he hits this chicken wing sleeper hold. And he bending his neck back with his head, bending his neck and head back and sideways, looking like a head twisting neck version of the Oscar lock, where he has the reverse figure 4 on his brother Colton. This is where Switchblade Jay White had to interfere and get involved and distract him so he could be distracted, so the Bullet Club Gold can get back in the match. This is where Juice Robinson finally came into the match, and then hits. This is where Juice Robinson had to hit a most striking and most deadliest punch strike that I have ever seen in professional wrestling, looking like if it's Mortal Kombat or some kind of a Kung Fu combat fight game, boom, if his head could have exploded. This is where And this is where he elbows Metalik. This is where he trying to clothesline Gravity out of there. And I said Angelico. That's what I meant to say. This is where he drop kicks Gravity. This is where Juice Robinson's like, all right, you're going to go right into Jerry or Larry Barricade now, which I'm not sure if it's Barry Barricade. But y'all let me know what's exactly the name of the barricade is, because the Barry's dead in the wrestling internet community, and I want to give another condolence to it at this sad time, because I'm going to miss Barry myself personally. And yes, this is a shout out to Simon. So make sure you check out this little part of this Barry tribute onto this video right now, while I'm recapping AEW's Collision, the latest episode of Collision. But this is where he throws him right to the barricade. This is where he hit the step up instant. This is where he hits a step up instant and helico, like right into Colton Gunn hits a step up insecurity right to helico. He gets tagged in by Grand Metalik. This is where the King of the Ropes goes try to go for a double springboard crossbody, which he successfully did so. I was like, yeah, this is like, I can say this about a million times, but it's true. This is why Metalik is called the King of the Ropes. Whether if he's in WWE, whether if he's in AAA, whether if he's in CMLL, whether if he's in any independent promotion, whether if he's in AEW right now. He owns the ropes, and he's a specialist and a expert in those ropes right now, being well educated, being an in-ring performer into this category. But anyway, this is where he started hitting. This is where he started Irish. This is where he started doing those spinning springboard maneuvers like he used to do in WWE, and turn into a Hurricane Rana. This is where Colton Gunn kicks him right where it hurts the most. I'm not sure the referee's seen it. This is where he tries Irish whip. He ducks. This is where he goes to a jumping, flying dodge. Like he gets sneakily or secretly tagged in by the Hard Rock, or not Hard Rock, Rock Hard Juice Robinson. This is where we've seen this guns up tag team finisher maneuver. This is where Juice Robinson was like, yeah, now it's my turn. Like, hey, this is my. He was acting like some kind of a teenage girl that's getting a very expensive handbag. Like, ooh, look at me, I look better than you. Or a new shiny expensive outfit. Even like this is what he looks like when he starts spinning, going around in circles before hitting his finishing move to Grand Metalik. This is where he hits This is where he hits this swinging maneuver. Look like Seth Rollins' old finishing move, like where he looked like about to do a DDT, but he has goes leg up and back sideways and land with his upper body right onto the head, like a DDT without the legs going down into the back way. And this is where he pins him for the 1, 2, 3, and then the Guns and Juice Robinson defeated Metalik, Gravity, and Helico. And after this successful victory, this successful match with the Guns and Juice Robinson in 3/4 of the Bullet Club Gold, which what's his name called him a talentless tank, and then he called the Guns the Ass Boys. The Ass Boys and Talentless Tank gets the victor, and then this is where Tofu Jay White cuts a promo, and yeah, that's a shout out to you, MJF. Like, and thank you for this funny insulting nickname to the Bullet Club Gold, because it's very catchy in general. Like, and then it's very interesting that way. But anyway, this is where Jay White did a post-match promo about MJF. He's like, but before he got to the point and with the what's it called? Yeah, this is my little toy championship, AEW championship right here. But yeah, this is what he said right here, holding the championship. Like after he's like, we're forgetting somebody. Like, don't forget about me and my statue here. And he's like, okay, that's much better. Like, we're over here in Collision together, except this time we didn't came in empty-handed, did we? Like, no, like. I got this right here. This time we bought some gold, and I mean literally gold for the Bullet Club gold. And then, I'm sorry, like, like, to to those for the Salt Lake City Goldenbergs. Like, okay, I was like, why even have the championship like that? Like, I know heels love stealing championship, but this is going a bit too far. Like, even for you, Jay. Like, this is where Jay White was like, right here saying, put the words together. He's like, MJF. This is where he called it MJF saying, like, and the Utah fans were like, MJF in Salt Lake City, the MJF, and he started doing the shushing hand movement. He's like, no, I'm the one with the microphone, so you shush and be quiet. He's like, Max, I told you last week, we need a truly elite champion right here. And I told you by example, and I see by a bit of paper, take some notes, and then example one match, I am here for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And then Max, will you have notes in your wounds? Like, he's like making fun. You're at Adam's home. Listen, Adam's word for him. He's like, but either way, I expected you to care at least just a little bit. You care about your at least you try to get it back. After all, Max is. The matter is the most than you is the example too, and the champion needs the challenges. So, Hangman, Adam Page, you want to challenge the champion Dynamite title Tuesday? So, it's title Tuesday, so we might as well have the championship on the line. I was like, yeah, but Jay White, like, that's not even your championship. So, what's the point of defending that championship if you didn't rightfully beat the salt of the earth? Like, you're probably not going to have a title match until like a little bit over 30 days from now. So what's the point of stealing it? Like, but anyway, this is where I challenge Hangman Adam Page, which we're probably going to have that match. I'm not sure if the championship should be on the line because for the fact he's not the champion. But I'll say I wouldn't mind seeing Jay White being champion. I see he has so much potential. Like, I saw some of his highlight matches in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I remember last year he was even the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion at that year. And I hope he does win the AEW's Heavyweight Champion of the World. And then whether if it's a full gear or not, then I would say he has my support either way on that. He has so much talent. I believe he's undefeated right now. Like, I want to see plenty more of him in the future. But anyway, this is where he goes. It says, I'm in 3-0. That was like the episode 1 of Forbidden Door when I beat you, Adam Cole, and Kazuchika Okada at that night at AEW's Forbidden Door event, like over 12 months ago, like, which was obviously 16 months ago, of course. That's where he's like, you didn't deserve a shot at this championship, so this is going to be a no title match, I'm afraid. I was like, dude, even if Hangman Adam Page deserved the AEW World title match, it shouldn't be on the line in the first place because you're not the rightful owner or the champion. Because you clearly stole it. Like, there's 2 reasons, but even if that wasn't the reason, like one of the reasons, it should be one reason why you shouldn't defend it because, you're not the rightful. And then unless MJF's here, he shouldn't beat him. He's like, this could be an AEW eliminator match. I like that. Like, at the end of it, you do ever do so well, like you'll be with the switchblade. Like, and he's like, go take it out. You're gonna fall, and then you're gonna fight to the switchblade. And that's Max. Sit back and take notes from the switchblade. And I got from here, pal. And I bet he took his catchphrase out of his playbook. This is where he's like, because everybody knows that I'm better than you, and they all know it. I was like, no disrespect, Jay White, but I think MJF says this more better than you. And then he started holding on to his championship. And he was like, okay, and one more thing. That's perfect because if you're down with that, and including you, Maxwell, like, we got 2 words for you. And they put the guns up in the air. It's like, guns up. And I was like, like, and what do you think about this storyline feud with the Salt of the Earth taking on the Switchblade and at Full Gear? And who you think is going to walk out is the AEW, aka the All Elite Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Like, enough of holding this championship for one day. We're probably won't see that until like this upcoming Halloween, because I got a super surprise for you guys when I do the SNA podcast for the NXT review at the end of this month. Make sure y'all stay tuned until then, so I can review my costume that I have for you guys. And it's gonna be a custom made Super Ninja Austin costume. That's the only thing I can tell you and describe onto this costume I'm gonna have on the Halloween edition of the SNA podcast. But anyway, this is where we move on to the next thing. It's the segment with Christian Cage. Hey Trey, how you doing? This is where they start hyping up about Christian Cage and then Nick Wayne about the reasons why he's like, ever since I've been under Christian Cage's learning tree, I realized that he's the father figure that I always needed. And ever since when I was a teenager, when I was a teenager or young teenager, you said you'll be back for me, like, once you succeed in this wrestling company. But Darby, where have you been? Like, you haven't been nowhere in my life when I was heading on my way to the pro wrestling scene when I got older. Like, until at the last minute. Like, I did this all by myself. Like, of making a name for myself in many independent leagues, and then look where I'm at now. And then I just got better and better with Christian Cage under his wing. He's like, you're not going to be here for me. And that's why I did that at the Wrestle Dreams, because if you're not going to be in it for me, then I'm not going to be in it with you. And what do you think what's next to this feud with Darby Allin and Nick Wayne? And who's going to be with the upper hand into this feud? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And then this is where we move on to the This is where we move on to the next segment, which is where the Iron Savages came out, and this is where they cut a promo. Like, I'm not sure if it was even necessary. They were like, and he was like, and eat that. But they cut a promo with the leader of the Iron Savages. They're like, cut this music right now. And we're in the back sitting Savage sauce, sipping on Savage sauce. And we're looking for a client. They'll bring him out here. We're gonna fight, and we're gonna eat that ass. Okay, like, that's very uncomfortably homo. Like, nothing against the homo, but it's just they just did it in the most weird, uncomfortable way. Even people in the LGBTQ community was feeling uncomfortable for hearing what these three men said. And it's all and this is where the commentator's like, excuse me, like, what did they just said? Like they realize this is wrestling and not the website that starts the letter P. Anyway, this is where the Acclaim came up. This was like Max Caster said his freestyle. Like, wait. He's like, yeah, yo, listen, we're in Salt Lake, we the salt of the earth, like these guys. He's like, these guys may be big, but they got the small of a girth. I was like, whatever that means. And this was, he's like, what's what? We're like for you, like he's like, these are guys like bitches, like a morbid guy, I guess they say. Iron Savage just, and he also said, yeah, you got the pink eyes for all those asses you've been kissing. And then this way he's like, I'm killing the game because because like every other city, like Salt Lake loves the Acclaim. Like everybody in Salt Lake loves the Acclaim. That's where he lip syncing. This is where Anthony Bones said his catchphrase, like Salt Lake, the Acclaim has arrived. Sizzle me, daddy ass. This is where we have the match with daddy ass himself, Billy Gunn, taking on the short leader of the Iron Savages. That's I get called. This is where he took off his shirt. This is where he started hitting his chest, and he started showing off his physique. I'll say, you got a little impressive muscle right there, but that doesn't mean you're that great. You don't look that great. And then this is where Billy Gunn proved them wrong in that case, because he's like, you step to the side. Like, so I'm showing you how the real man does. He rips off his shirt off, and he got, and I was like, he got like 5 times the muscle that this short man got. This is where he attacks him from behind like any heel would do. Like, hit a right hand and start kneeing him right into the midsection. Hit him right into the top row face first. This is where he tags into the one with the long hair. I forget their names. Which he's the other short one, but he has black long hair. This is where Billy Gunn hits a nailing right hand right into his head. This is where he tried to run, try to go for a shoulder tackle, but he got intercepted with a shoulder tackle by the other small man, but with long hair, into a mullet, I should say. And this is where he closed on him. Bill Gunn's closed on him. He tagged in Anthony Bowens. He did a double team elbow strike, back elbow strike, I should say. This is where they did the scissoring, but like, scissor me. He's like, scissor me again, daddy. Yeah. And they did a double elbow drop right onto him. This is where, let's see right there. This is where Anthony Bowens tried to go for a pin, but he got a 1, he got a 2, but he kicks out right after 2 even. This is where he's like, come here, man. He hits a nailing strike right hand right into him. This is where he hits a forearm right to the back of the head of Anthony Bowens. He started going back with some right hands. Like, this is where he tried to fight like the right, but he did his version instead of spinning on his hand. He started doing the scissor, and he hits him with a nailing striking into the head of this guy, from the Iron Savages. This is where he tried to Irish whip Anthony Bowens. He reversed, tried to go for a knife edge shot, but the big buff man with the huge orange beard and brownish orange beard, and the biggest fat buff guy tags himself with the short guy with the mullet. They hit a double flapjack right onto Anthony Bowens, and the other short mullet guy trying to go for running senton right onto Anthony Bowens. This is where he pins Anthony. It looked like big guy was pinning him. It looked like he's humping on his front side. I was like, yeah, he may be that, but that doesn't mean he likes you in that way. This is where he kicks out of that when Aubriette was counted to 2. This is where Anthony Bowens rolled out of the ring. And then let's get back to the more of the match. Let's talk about let's see. But this is where they're back inside. This is where I believe got the upper hand. Anthony Bowens got the upper hand. This is where the big dude tags in the small leader. This is where Anthony Bowens tagged in Max Caster. This is where Max started going on to a rampage comeback, because he started hitting clothesline first to the short leader guy and then to the other short mullet guy. This is where he his elbow strikes back and forth and clothesline into the Iron Savages, hitting knife edge chops, super kicks, and then right hands, super kick, try to go for this section, he flips him up. This is where he tried to go for a tag. He counters into a Death Valley Drive, look like the Attitude Adjustment, looking like paying tribute to the 16-time world champion, because he wrestled the same night when they wrestled, except he wrestled in Indianapolis, Indiana, while AEW Collision was on Salt Lake City, Utah. But this is where when what's his name was doing this, there's a shimmering shake like this. This is where he super kicks the big buff orange beard guy. This is where he tries to hit him with Death Valley Driver. That's when fans are like, oh my God, like we haven't seen someone did this move since 2004 at WrestleMania 20 when John Cena did that to the Big Show, of course, which he's now known as Paul White in this company in AEW. But this is where it's like, yeah, like keep the momentum going. This is what Max Caster was looking like. This is where This is where Max Caster went right on the top rope. This is where he goes right up and wait for the short leader to kind of go up. This is where he hits the crossbody, which is the most comeback move in all of sports entertainment. This is where Aubrey Edwards counted to 1, 2, kicks out at 2, like in the 2 even count even. It's like, come on, like I still can do this. This is what Max Caster was looking like. And like, yeah, take this pedal to the metal. This is where the other short mullet guy hits the headbutt right onto to Anthony Bowens. This is where he got back in this match. He hits a right hand to him, nailing him. Boots the big orange dude right into the head. This is where he started hitting right hands right onto the small buff mullet guy. This is where he hits that's where they hit a double spine buster midair, standing spine buster when he tried to run. I hit it right. This is where he put the leader right onto him. This is where he pins him. This is where he went for a 1. He went for a 2, and then this is where Anthony Bowens came right on time, hits a running elbow drop right onto him. This is where Billy Gunn got back in the ring. This is where the big orange beard guy, orange beard man, and the other short mullet guy started fighting Anthony Bowens into a 2-on-2 situation. This is where the big buff guy throw Bowens out, Gunn throw the mullet guy out. This is where it was face to face with the big buff orange beard guy and Daddy Ass himself, Billy Gunn. Like, can we see the big man of the Iron Savages eat that? You know the rest, or do you think Daddy Ass gonna beat that ass? Yeah. And guess who won that belt? Like, which y'all probably gonna guess correctly. And then this is where this looked like first that the big buff dude from the Iron Savages trying to go. He hits him, knees him right in the midsection. This is where he tried to go for a suplex to both him and Max Caster. This was like, and then this is where he tried to go for a suplex, but before he could do any suplex, this is where both Caster and Gunn finally hit the double suplex right onto the big man. This is where Billy Gunn was like, all right, let's finish them off. Like, yeah, let's make sure they're gonna suck. Yeah, like his D-Generation X persona. This is where he tried to get his legs like. This is where he got the right leg, and Max Caster got the left leg. This is where Anthony Bowens was like, scissor me, and there's the scissor. This is where he does the Sesame Timbers leg drop right between the crotch area, right onto the big buff dude of the Iron Savages. And he hits the Sesame Timbers. This is where. Let's see what happens next. This is where he hits his finishing exploder suplex onto the leader. This is where he tags in Max Caster, hits the mic drop right onto him, got the 1, 2, 3, and they continue to reign as the unbeatable AEW Trios Tag Team Championship. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, what do you think about this reign so far? Do you think they're doing a successful job, or do you think they need to have some more opponents for them to defend those trios titles? Y'all let me know down in the comments below, which I believe all y'all guys in the wrestling internet community would agree about. They need better opponents that make it more entertaining and more competition like which that's what's lacking for the past couple weeks. Even though their title reigns has been successful and they're doing successful as a reigning defending tag team champions, or trios tag team champion, I should say. But they should do a little more than that. This is where there's a vignette. This is where we've seen a vignette. Too bad it's not the the portrait of the star portrait of Tony Storm segment. It's just like recaps of it from the past couple of weeks into a vignette. He's like, you don't know what it's like to be in the spotlight and just take it away from you. And then she also said, I'm wondering that am I just lucky, or does just the world just forgot about me? And then I just need all I need to do is chin up and tits out. Like, okay, are they allowed just to say this? Like, say the last part, like, because like if it was WWE, it was obviously wouldn't be said because it's a PG rated product. But yeah, what y'all thought about this vignette? Was it necessary to bring and to continue this entertainment of this persona of a Swedish opera singer in denial, like, which she says she's very timeless, which in her head she is, like, it's not really a lie into this persona. And what do you think about this persona? Like, she's killing it and doing a successful job into playing the role as this, or do you think she'd be better off with another gimmick? Y'all let me know also into the comments down below. But speaking of her, she also have a match tonight herself, and it is against Kiera Hogan. Let's move on to that match. But before we have that match, this is where we've seen a vignette between this rivalry between Keith Lee and Shane Taylor. That's what his name. And then this is where he was like, and he was telling basically telling Shane Taylor's like, I say about what he go by. It was you must be stuck on something that you said to me. Like, you say don't put me into the ground to feed your family, and let me. And he's like, well, I'm going to tell you something that for you to understand. Like, I am the future family. Like, I'm the one that you think you can make your name with. And this is where Shane Taylor's like, you think you got the opportunity? You think I'm upset about that? Like, I don't give a damn that you got those opportunity. And that just pisses me off. He's like, you think you're better than me because of it, Keith Lee. And this Keith Lee's like, you make yourself sure of yourself. You're proud, you're confident. He's like, I applaud your confidence, your arrogance, and this is where Keith Lee responds like, I applaud your confidence, your arrogance, and something that was related to that of what he was naming. He was like, but you must realize that you should run, which is another wrestler that pays tribute to the late great Bray Wyatt, aka Wyndham Rotunda. And then, like I said before on my tribute SmackDown video review, I'd love to also send my well condolences to Bray Wyatt, aka Wyndham Rotunda, and his family and his fiance and kids, and at a sad and difficult time, like, and heartbreaking time for losing a friend and a family member. But anyways, yeah, this was a big tribute. I praise Keith Lee for that, and I hope every wrestler that had any associations continued this tribute, because it was just out of the blue. Like how could Wyndham could be gone? Like he was absolutely okay. Like half a year ago, like he even wrestled LA Knight into that Mountain Dew Lights Out match, and he made his return at this time last year in October of 2022. But anyways, yeah, this is where we move on to the match this is where we had the match with Kiera Hogan taking on Toni Storm. This is where she tried to grab on that piece of paper that was rolled in like if it was a burrito. This is where she rolled it up, and she was like, "What this is?" If you don't mind. And she was like, and then this is where Kiera Hogan like, so you want me to follow this? What I need to do when we have this match? Looking like, I believe this is breaking the fourth wall, because I think that's the script that they've been handed on how they should wrestle on tonight's Collision. Which I was like, wait, like did she just really broke the fourth wall once again? First, she said, this match will be right back after these very important messages before the commercial came on. Like now, Now she gave her a note that was probably was a scripted was a script about the match, like on how they should fight tonight. And then this is where she asked that. This was like, yes, of course. And she's like, okay, I could gladly do that. And then this is where she rips it out. She's like, I will not like do that. And then she rips it apart. This is where she throws it into the face of Toni Storm. This is where Toni Storm got like 50% pissed off. She was like, how dare you? She whacked her with a lariat from hell. This is where she hits a side-swiping kick. This is where she starts stomping on her after following what says on the paper. I was like, and I think that this should continue with Toni Storm like breaking the fourth wall, or what was possibly going to happen with these Easter eggs, like what's going to happen or what's happening right now. Like yeah, keep up with these Easter eggs, AEW. These are getting very entertaining, in my opinion, with this new character, and I think they should keep up with this character in Denial, like at least as a heel gimmick for now, because I'm not sure if I would love to see it as a face persona. But yeah, anyway, this is where Toni Storm stomps a mudhole right onto to Kiera Hogan, right to the bottom left corner of Tina the Turnbuckle. This is where she walks on the other side, trying to run into a spear position. This is where Kiera Hogan leapfrogs out of her way. This is where she goes out, she ducks, she hits a whacking slap right into the face, and slaps her right. And she slaps her also right across her bums, like right after she slapped her right across her face. This is where let's see right here. And this is where she was like, oh my God. And this is where Kiera Hogan mocks her. She's like, oh, I take that for your star portrait. Opera singer. Like, well, she didn't say opera singer, but I just said that on my version of Kiera Hogan saying that. This is where Toni Storm trying to run straight towards her. She trips her over right into the middle ropes. This is where she runs on the other side, hits a running hip attack right into the back of her head, face first, right into the ropes, like choking her. This is where she slingshot her right off the ropes. This is where she stomp her, kip her up right onto her face. She hits a super kick right into her head. This is where she goes for a pin, but she only got a 1, 2, and kick out. This is where Kiera Hogan gets back up. This is where Kiera Hogan try to go for some kind of Fisher place, but she counters it out of it, slams her back first right into the canvas. This is where Toni Storm twists onto the arm onto her arm and to grab the parts of her hair, swing it across the other side of the ring This is where she twists the driver. She twists her hair until braided hair up and flip her around once again into her hair, doing the exact like she did like to which I believe she did that to the Sky Blue this past, like something similar to what she did to Sky Blue from this past Dynamite, this Wednesday on Dynamite. Is where it looks like she was about to hit the Sweet Cheeks music, where she moved right out of the way, which was a smart move. This is where she started spanking her right into the ringside area. It's like 1, 2 with the knife edge chops, like, and then double slaps right into her backside. It's like, ow, ow, ow. And I was surprised there was no red marks back there because she went back. Like, looked like there was no chops. Like, I'm not saying it was fake. Like, it was definitely real because she was chopping and you could hear the slaps echoing around the arena. This is where she went. This is where Kiera Hogan went on the top rope. She goes for a crossbody right onto Toni Storm. This is where she caught her. This is where she grabs her leg. So I go for a pin. But she got 1 and 2. She kicks out a 2-point even count. This is where Kiera Hogan was like, "What the do to put her away?" Like, and it gained some momentum, I guess. And this is where she tried to go do a maneuver right on the top right corner on the bottom rope. This is where she flapjacked her right into the corner, face first, right to the turnbuckle pad. This is where she starts stomping on him. This is where she tried to go for sweet cheek music right again. She hits her face, or the back of her head first with the maneuver, right outside the ring. And she was like, that's it, folks. And stay tuned after these very important minutes. I was like, okay, she needs to continue doing these catchphrases like before there's a commercial break because this is gonna make her characters make it more something to see with these catchphrases and these poses and these weekly segments. Even though I was not sure at first, but now I was like, these are getting very more entertaining and it is something to see, like with this her being the psychotic a Swedish opera singer in denial. But yeah, this is where they got back in the ring. Let's see. This is where Kiera Hogan got back into the game. This is where she started going for a running. Toni Storm was on her knees. This is where she tried to go for a running knee strike attack. This is where she squeezed her neck around both ways, hitting a sit out tree slam right 6 feet in the air. This is where she had both her hands on her shoulders down on the mat. This is where he went for two, but kick out at 2.1 seconds. This is where Toni Storm was like, "Are you serious?" She was looking at the referee like, "That was not part of the line. Do as you've been said to do." She was like, "How dare you?" I was like, I know you have the Swedish persona, but you don't really have to go this far of taking this on a whole new level. Like, with all due respect, this gave Kiera Hogan enough time because she rolled her up in the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, which is the surprise roll up. But the referee counted 1, 2, and this is where she kicks out and got back up. This is where she hits a super kick right onto Toni Storm's knee. Kiera Hogan also super kicker right into her face. This is where he runs up right into the corner ropes. This is where he tried to look like she used her back as a stepping stool because she stepped up and hit the leg drop right onto the back of her head. And then this is where she pins Toni Storm. 1, 2, but she kicks out at a 2.5 count. This is where Kiera Hogan's like still gonna finish her, like, and then she was trying to be trying to think of another move to capitalize to be the next top contender. This is where she tried to go for a suplex. This is where she started. She twisted her arm back. This is where she turns around. This is where she took a bite out of Kiera Hogan's backside. I've seen guys like Mike Tyson or Eddie Kingston did a maneuver like this before, but right here, that's a huge no. Like, I think this is very inappropriate. They should have censored this out. Like, this is very. I know this is not per se PG, but still a show that's near PG rated, like except like PG-13 rated. But I don't think they should be showing this, like, because it looks like something from adult entertainment website, like, which I'm not gonna name right here because this will be very very inappropriate to talk about. This will probably lose my rights and I'll be restricted into this YouTube content of making this podcast. So, but anyway, this is where she did so. She took a bite and started biting like 10 times in a row. This is where she hit the German suplex soon after to distract her. This is where she's showing how it was done because earlier, this is where because Kiera Hogan had her version of the sweet cheek music hip attack maneuver. This is where he's like, "This is how you. This is my maneuver." She hits the sweet cheek music right to the face of Kiera Hogan. She hits Storm Zero pile driver right onto to Hogan. She pins her for the 1, 2, 3, and she got the win. And she continues her dominant wins here with her fighting everybody into matches ever since after she lost to Saraya into that AEW Women's World Championship match. And then when she was celebrating, the color starting to turn into black and white, I was like, really? Like, they're really going this far of making her like some kind of a 1950s Swedish opera singer? Like, are you serious, AEW? Like, do you really have to go this far? Like, but anyway, she got the win. And what do you think what's next for the former AEW Women's World Champion and NXT UK Champion? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, we're gonna move on to the next slot, which is backstage with Ruby Soho, which was Renee Paquette interviewing Ruby Soho, asking her about she was so close of winning the number one contenders match against Hikaru Shida, and then she was like, I was so close, but about the match, like, I should be facing my girl Saraya, but no matter, I'm gonna stand ringside with Saraya at this upcoming Title Tuesday event, AEW Title Tuesday Dynamite event, and then Renee Paquette's like, that's something I also want to tell you about. You're gonna be banned from ringside at this upcoming Tuesday. And she was like, oh, real? First, I don't have first I lose my opportunity of being the number one contender for the AEW Women's World Championship. Now I'm banned from ringside. Like, are you serious right now? Like, and this is where Renee Paquette's like, yeah, I know. Like, I don't make the rules though. You do like, but this was Ruby Soho was like, yeah, but I'm not gonna let this bother me. I'm gonna be cool as a cucumber, and then cheer my girl on when I'm in my locker room, like retaining her AEW Women's World Championship. And what do you think about Saraya? What do you think about Saraya defending her championship this upcoming Title Tuesday event? Do you think she's gonna retain the championship? Or do you think we're going to see Hikaru Shida being the first ever 3-time champion? Y'all let me know straight in the comments down below. But anyways, but she was like, Saraya doesn't need me because Saraya got this. Like, and she's the AEW Women's World Champion for a reason. And then Ruby Soho's because she's the most dominant force in this industry. And then she's going to stay that way after she beats that freak Shida at Title Tuesday. And she said it in the most sliding, softly, cool as a cucumber voice.
Make sure you do it, baby.
But he was like, Renee Paquette's like, all right, back to you guys. But up next, this is where we have the title match with Eddie Kingston taking on Commander. And then that's up next. Let's see right here. We're going to talk about that. It's Eddie Kingston defending his AEW World Champion. I'm not AEW. His Ring of Honor. This is the Ring of Honor World Championship match with the champion, the Mad King Eddie Kingston, taking on the latest number one contender, Commander, which was last night at Rampage. Make sure I check out my review of AEW Rampage, where Eddie Kingston, Eddie Kingston was sitting with the commentators and commentary, like watching Commander, Lindsay Dorado, Johnny TV, and Commander, Lindsay Dorado, Johnny TV, and I believe, what's his name? Penta El Zero Miedo. But anyway, this is where we have the match. Eddie Kingston was getting ready, getting to a physical match, looking like we'll see from any wrestling promotion, like even in independent scenes, like or in New Japan or AAA or Ring of Honor, like some kind of a technical clinic match, which that's what this match was. I'll say this was the second match of the night. I'll say this technically did main event tonight's collision, but I don't think it main event the entire match. This is only the last match of the night. But this is where Eddie Kingston did the grapplings onto Commander. This is where Commander stepped back. He's like, okay, I wasn't ready yet. Let's start. He's like, okay, like let me know when you're ready, when we can just lock horns. And this is where they did so. This is where Eddie Kingston twisted his arm right onto the Commander. This is where Commander counters. This is where he hits an arm drag right on the Mad King. This is where Eddie Kingston hits. This is where he went up. He's like, oh really? Like you got some moves, huh? This is where he's like, yeah, you already know. This is what Commander looked like at him. Look at the eyes. This is where Eddie Kingston put his arms up. This is where trying to close on him. This is where he ducks. This is where he tried to hit the front flip. This is where he tried to hit the knife edge chop. He was like, not today, because I guess Commander's a Gunther fan because for two reasons. Because he does not want to get chopped genuinely, and he's probably also a Samoa Joe fan for no selling. Because he ducks, hits a springboard flying head, try to go for a flying head scissor. But this is where Eddie Kingston no sells, and I bet he's too Samoa Joe fan in reality. This is where he caught him back up. But I think he's a Gunther hater because he tried to go back up. He tried to go for a chop, but he countered into an arm drag. This is where Commander tried. This is where Eddie Kingston tried to close on. He ducks. He's like, yeah, you can't stop me. This is where Eddie Kingston's like, oh yeah, really. And the fans start cheering because this was the second awesome match of the night, next to that Bryan Danielson against Kyle Fletcher match. But this is where they start locking their horns once again. This is where he drags them down with both arms. This is where Eddie Kingston rolls out of the ring. Maybe the smartest move in professional wrestling, not use up all your energy and your presence in the ring, because like what's name could easily capitalize. Commander could have easily capitalized onto the Mad King, reigning defending AEW, Ring of Honor World Champion and New Japan Strong Openweight Champion. This is where Commander was like, okay, he want me to fly, like I could do a sliding kick, look like your what?
My leg goes.
Your what?
My blocks.
Your blocks? I don't know where your blocks go. Like, did you check over here? Here you go. You want your blocks? Oh yeah, it's some right here. Now take this little truck right here, this block truck. Here you go, so you can play with your blocks. But anyways, this is where he tried to go. He walks out, no selling, looking like Samoa Joe. I bet both of these guys, Samoa Joe, because they've been doing this the whole entire night. No selling into counters after no selling and no selling. This is where they side up like if he was Ramsey. This is where Eddie Kingston's like, you got something better than that? This is where he started taunting with the fans, not in a bad way, but he started doing this pose with the fans with respect. Everybody started cheering him on. This is where he Irish whips Eddie Kingston, but he counters, twists his arm, hits a duck, and then turned to a Black Widow stretch maneuver onto Eddie Kingston. Commander had on him. And then this is where it looks like he could defeat him for the ROH championship. But Eddie Kingston's like, nope, not today, not any day, as long as the Mad King is champion. Like, no, he slides right down. This is where but Commander still had his arm up and got it locked into this Black Widow stretch submission maneuver. This is where he chopped his hands. And he started slapping his hands. I'm not sure if this is a tribute to Gunther or just trying to get under the skin of the ring general, because he started doing chops. This is where he started squeezing his hands, started bending it back. This is where Eddie Kingston starts bending his hand. This is where he, not bending his legs, and then he finally got into the ropes with a rope break. This is where the referee was like, yeah, all right, Kingston, he was telling Commander, like, Kingston got his arms up to the ropes. This is where they got back up. This is where Gunther started making Gunther even jealous and angry at him and begging him for a match, because he started chopping him back and right back to back onto Commander, like chopping him repeatedly, chops, right onto Commander, like doing the combat, chops, and then he does the exploder suplex right onto Commander, right onto the other side of the ring canvas. And Eddie Kingston like, yeah, that's right. There'll be plenty more where that come from. And then I hope I do double champion versus singles champion into a WWE crossover, which I don't think he needs WWE to do so for that. He's like, but in the meantime, I'm going to be dominating in both AEW, Ring of Honor, and NJPW as the ROH and the New Japan champions into my grasp. And then is where he tried to go for a suplex, but this is where Commander started countering. This is where Eddie Kingston still tried. He managed to suplex him. Let's talk about more about this. And this is where Eddie Kingston got him right into he got him back up. He hit the deadliest chop, like was probably the loudest of the night, like continuing Gunther's hatred on him. Like, and he continue provoking the ring general. This is where probably, like, I don't know for sure. I'm just this is just my theory of the matter, because he hits the chop so loud, it looks like he could do it better than Gunther, making it envious. That's just all part of the joke, of course. But this is where he hits the forearm and starts hitting side swipe kicks. This is where Commander was like he was like, yeah, like, all right, let's do this. Like, and this is where he did the springboard diving corkscrew crossbody right off to the bottom corner ropes. This is where he was like pins Eddie Kingston for a 1-2. This is where he kicks out. This is where he hits a roundhouse kick. This is where he hits a shooting star press, and soon after, this is where he pins onto Eddie Kingston, but he only got a 2 count. This is where he runs up right to the ring apron. He hits a diving senton right into Eddie Kingston. This is where Commander was like, yeah, I'm going to be the next Ring of Honor champion. I was like, well, we'll see about that. If you can keep this up, you look like you will. But this is where let's see right here. This is where he hits try to go for the top rope, hit his finisher, which was that 450 splash maneuver. This is where he counted to 1, 2, and then before he counted to 3, he got his shoulders up at 2.99999, 0.1 away from being 3. Like, he was this close, like 0.0 away from 3. Like, how did he kick out of it right before the 3? Like, that move was absolutely devastating into Commander's right. You would probably thought that it would be some kind of a shocker over 3. But no, Eddie Kingston was not walking out of there with only 1 championship. And that was the case at the night, because this is where I try to go for another Eddie Kingston counters and intercepts. And this is where he started hitting right hands, but this is where he reversed, started chopping Eddie Kingston. This is where Eddie Kingston chops louder. This is where his forearm like take a dig at this ring general, like, and start chopping. This is where he started forearming like that. And you too, Commander. Like, can you feel that, Commander? Like, yeah. Like, and he started forearming him. This is where he's like, and then this is where he started striking and slapping him, trying to. I think Commander was paying tribute to the ring general, saying, like, you got to show some respect and not trying to get into the head of the longest reigning WWE's Intercontinental Champion. This is where Eddie Kingston's like, no, like, this is gonna motivate me of being the better champion than you and Gunther combined. And this is where he started headbutting him too. It's like boom, repeating the head, but like boom, 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 boom. And then he went up right into a suplex position. This is where he successfully, this is where he tried to do so, but Commander reversed into some kind of a sliding crossbody. Oh yeah, you put it all in your trunk. Yeah, it's like magic. That's right. But anyway, this is where he pins him for a 1. He went for a 2, but he kicks out at 2.7 seconds. Like, there's nothing that'll put away the Mad King. And then this is why, and I believe, and then this is what made Commander realize that this is why they call him the Mad King. This is where he try to go for a clothesline. He counters him into a spinning lariat. This is where he pins him for a 1, 2. Kicks out at a 2.8 second count. This is where Eddie Kingston he gets back up. This is where he try to go for a back fist. He's getting ready for the position. This is where he's like, stop sign, back fist, duck into a. This is where he try to go for a springboard maneuver, like running bulldog, but he can't try to go for a back, but he turned into a DDT. And this is where Commander go pin Eddie. This is 1, 2. He kicks out Eddie Kingston with a kick out. This is where Commander twisted his arm. This is something like Rey Mysterio used to do back in the Ruthless Aggression era. Day. Twisted his arm to get Eddie Kingston's arm together with his leg. This is where he rolls him up into a schoolboy roll-up, which is known as the most devastating move in all sports entertainment. This is where he counts to 1. Let's see. This is like 1. But this is where Eddie Kingston had the shoulders up, like when he got the 1. This is where he flips back and goes for a pin. But he goes for a 1 and 2 and kicks out. This is where Eddie Kingston hits a swinging back fist, like you probably heard it echoing that pound right into around all over the arena. This is where Trey, I see your monster truck, but Uncle SNA trying to finish off his recap. You gotta understand Trey. But this is where he hits the back fist out of nowhere. Cuckoo, the Commander. This is where Eddie Kingston goes for a pinfall. This is where he counted 1, he counted 2, and a 3. And then it was over. And still, the Ring of Honor World Champion, none other than the Mad King himself, Eddie Kingston. And that was, and like the commentator said, that was an unreal performance. Like, they totally put on the clinic, like I said. And they were doing some no-selling and no-selling reversals and some intercepting reversals and some envious and tribute chops to not Eddie King, tributes and envious chops from Eddie and Commander for the ring generals, paying tribute from Commander's side, and then envious onto Eddie's side with the ring general Gunther's chops, which is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in WWE's history right now. But yeah, this is where Eddie Kingston went up right to Commanders and showed some respect at the end of the night. He was like, "You did a wonderfully great job to and entertain me. You entertained me, and you did a great job of putting on a performance with me. Like, I want to give you my handshake." And then that's when they shake. And then this is where he raised the hand of Commander's like, "Yeah, he did one impressive job. Like, he amazed me. Like, even for me being the champion, like, he amazed me. And then he showed me that he could have defeated me for my championship, even though he haven't. But he was this close from doing it, and he earned my respect from doing that." And what do you think what's next for the Mad King and both Commander as they go to their separate ways out of this after this match? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. This is where we move on to the. This is where it announced the Gates of Agony taking on Claudio and Gates of Agony and Claudio Castagnoli taking Gates of Agony taking on Claudio Castagnoli and Willa Yuta at next Friday's Rampage. And then we said still to come is we're gonna hear from the Rated R superstar Adam Copeland, the former Edge, like making his second promo, making his third appearance ever in in AEW. Also, I forgot that Ricky Starks was interviewed by Renee Paquette becoming the new AEW World Championship, and he's like, "Yeah, that's right." And the first thing is we're gonna be the greatest tag team as this company has ever brought into this brought in. And then if FTR expected a rematch, no, we're not going to give you no automatic rematches. You're going to earn your keep around here, and you're going to get it by how we got it. Like, oh, yeah, by beating you in a match, in a non-title match. Like, I guess that's the new number one contenders match. Like that's very hypocritical though. But what y'all think about Ricky Starks and Big Bill genuinely winning the tag team championship? Y'all let me know down below. But this is where we got the Rated R Superstar Edge kind of promo, like used to the Salt Lake crowd. He's like, this is where Edge or Adam Copeland now in AEW was like, I'm looking down here, I'm seeing good old JR from like the guy that used to call my wrestling matches when I got started in the pro wrestling business and made me and also one of the guys that made me famous into the promotion. And also I also want to thank him for the and then he's the guy that signed me into my very first professional wrestling contract, and I'll never forget that. And that's when the fans started clapping in a most respectful manner. This is where Edge was like, he also paid my college debt, and I'm forever indebted to you, sir. Paying his respects to the legendary commentator, which is JR Jim Ross himself. This is where Adam also said, like, so if you watch Dynamite on Wednesdays, like, well, I really think that it goes exactly how according to my plan of reuniting with my best friend and my former kayfabe brother. Well, he didn't say former kayfabe. I'll just add that to this wrestling review, saying that like I thought going to plan is to bring back my best friend Christian, and that's and I don't get what he was thinking. Like, I'm really confused about what the Christian did, and Christian said in his response about us being reuniting in this time in AEW. Like, and like I thought the whole point is the debut in AEW now is the team with Christian Cage. And then everybody was like, hello? Like, and I thought that was the whole point of you coming and making your debut here and being on here now. Like, and this is where fans will start booing, like, you want to, what he said right here, let's see, you wanted to see this, right? Like, which they obviously said yes. Like, that's what he said. You wanted to see this, didn't y'all? Like, yes. Like, we want to see Chris. You see y'all team with y'all team again, like y'all like back in the WWE, like when they were multi-time tag team champions. And once off, they thought they were brothers. Like, but anyway, this is where Adam Copeland was like, yeah, I know this sounds like a fairy tale, but am I actually true? Like, for 9 years, like I've been told that I'll never do this again. I've been told that I might die if I ever step foot in the ring, getting physical. I'm standing right here in an AEW ring. Through hard work and a lot of assistance, but it gets better. Like, for 7 years, Christian Cage was told he could never do this again as well. Which that was like back in 2016, but he was like through a lot of hard work and now he is here and now he's AEW with me. And this is when fans start cheering like, yeah, like when we're gonna do Adam and Christian, like Edge and Christian back in the day. And he's like when we start talking about this, we're talking about me coming here in AEW. And that was the idea. Like he convinced me to join AEW as soon as I left the other company. He's like. And then again, he said, when all of a sudden he stopped taking my phone calls. And yeah, I get it. And that's him being him right now. Like, he's not the nicest guy. He may not be the nicest guy in the world. He never has been, as a matter of fact. Like, and then let's be honest, he's a dick. I was like, you really just say that? And they just let him say that without censoring it out. Like, I know it's TV 14, but dang, like, do you really have to say words like that? I can understand the S word, but did you really have to have him roll out the D word like that? Even though that's like an insulting word of describing what he is, like he's an evil son of a gun. But do you really have to go there and say he's even if he says that word, but why would they say but anyway, this is what he's like. But I get him. Like after all, I've been friends with him for 40 years, and then he said maybe when he stopped taking the calls from the past year, like that should have helped me realize that some kind of that was some kind of this would be some kind of a trap. He said this would be some kind of an let's see right here, like that maybe when he stopped taking calls, I should have realized that's some kind of I should have had some kind of inkling that was gonna happen next. And then he's like, he's in his Bond villain phases. Like yeah, let's be honest. Like he got the turtleneck, and that's when all the commentators in AEW was cracking up when Adam Copeland was cutting a promo saying the true stuff about the reigning defending AEW TNT champion. And he said like he had that big heavy Luchasaurus, and then that makes Nick Wayne he's the hairless Persian cat that he always pats on. Yeah. And then that's when he got some more laughing reactions from the commentators and the fans, and even including me when I first heard this. I was like, this is totally the goofiest wrestling of the night, and just such an idiot in a hilarious way, not dumb. I'll say if anybody's dumb in the situation, it's Christian Cage, but the most fan hating and the most and the dead father hating heel that Christian Cage is. And he's like, I don't know, like he's probably that's probably the case. And it is where he also he's like, but if I did that, I would not be smiling. And then he said, so really, what I'm really out here for is some answers from Christian. Like I want to find out what's exactly going on. Like, I'm going to figure that out right here, right now, tonight on Collision. Like, I'm highly confused about this. Christian, Christian, like, can you just come out here and tell me what's going on since you haven't took my calls from the past year? Like, what's up? And then this is where fans, I believe, start chanting Luchasaurus before either of the Christian or Luchasaurus, let alone Nick Wayne, came out. This is where Christian Cage came up right onto the Titantron screen. This is where he was in the backstage studio into the area, like holding up his newly won TNT championship a week ago, saying like, laughing maniacal, or 2 weeks ago, I should say, because it was 2 weeks ago. It was I believe it was right. That was a week before the Go Home Show Collision. Before Wrestle Dreams, he was like, ha ha ha, laughing maniacally, like a warm, cold, heartless, rich villain that's in his nice warm mansion by the fireplace, holding up that TNT championship. Like, you think you called the shots around here, Adam? Like, even in AEW Wrestling Elite, absolutely nothing. As the TNT champion, I come and go as I please. And he's like, as your request for an answer, what happened tonight? No. You want an answer? You get it this Tuesday live on Dynamite. And he was like, I'll be there Tuesday when I watch you battle against my right hand of destroyer. And then I have a question for you. And the question is for you, Adam. Are you going to make it by this Tuesday? He started laughing more maniacally. And before he had any time to react after this message from this former best friend, this is where his left-hand destroyer, Luchasaurus, came from behind, tackled him from behind. This is where or not attacking from behind. This is where both Luchasaurus and this is where they outnumbered Adam Copeland, not from behind, from forward. They started double teaming him. What's his name? Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne. They started, and this is where Luchasaurus nearly did the concerto onto Edge. This is where Darby Allin came out for the save and tried to. And before, and then it looks like Darby Allin about to come out from the front entrance, but really that was an elaborate ruse because Darby Allin came from the back of the arena to the back door entrance, and then he came right to the ring, hits him back first with the steel chair, and then started fighting him off and send him packing. This is where Darby Allin's like, yeah, how about you pick on some? How about you pick on me too if you're gonna pick on somebody else? And this is where why are you doing this right here right now? This is where Darby Allin's like, yo, what's your problem? Costing me my AEW TNT Championship match, and most importantly, why did you stab me right into the back after all we've been through? And me is your mentor. And then this is where Darby Allin went the hell off. This is where he was holding it in like 300. He was holding like 300 bars back before hitting him from keeping him from hitting him with that steel chair. He was holding back like 300 times much as he was asking, begging, pleading. He was like, and Nick Wayne was like, please, I did this for a reason. Like, you don't understand. Like, I get why I'm in this situation. This is where he was like, you know what? Fuck this. Like, and this is where he hits him right to the head. He swings out of this. This is where he hits him with a missile drop kick. This is where Luchasaurus hit him back first, right into the bottom left corner of Tina the Turnbuckle. This is where Luchasaurus tried to get him back up. This is where Luchasaurus started pulling onto his wristband, his right wrist tape, which it had this pink thing wrapped around it. He took that off. This is where he had his arm wedged right onto the chair, or not, had his head right onto the chair. This is where Nick Wayne grabs on the chair, tried to do a concerto around to Darby's arm. I was like, you really got to be kidding me. I was like, you little son of a bitch. Like, you really had to do this right on to Darby Allin, the guy that mentored you on your way in the journey of professional wrestling. And this is how you repay him. Yeah, he may have not been around with you not that long, but he was too busy trying to get his he was too busy getting his wrestling career started so he can help you out and you can continue his mentorship with you. Like, and this is how you repay him. Like, you no good son of a bitch. Like, you little 17-year-old son of a bitch. Like, because you don't act like an 18-year-old whatsoever, Nick Wayne. And then, like, and I hope you get your comeuppance when you and Darby Allin probably face that Full Gear. But this is how AEW Collision kind of ended. And I'm gonna give it. I'll say they had some really good matches and segments, of course, including this one where Adam Copeland asked questions about why is he acting all cold to him. Like, I can see he's a evil Bond villain, like, but that doesn't mean you have an excuse to do this to your own best friend. Like, he could at least explain why is he like this, and then even those two matches with Eddie Kingston versus Commander and Bryan Danielson against Kyle Fletcher was really good. The top two matches of the night, and goofiest wrestler of the night with Adam Copeland with his nicknames and his and what he describes of Christian Cage about being so coldly and not like his usual self, like being his best friend and being all negative towards him into this current friendship. But I'll give it 4 stars out of the 5. What y'all thought about AEW Collision tonight? Let me know down in the comments below. And how you would rate it. Y'all also let me know and what y'all's opinions about it whatsoever. And what you thought about this video. Hopefully y'all like it. If you did, please give me a huge big thumbs up. Comment down below. Subscribe. Click the bell notification. Share with your friends all over social media, whether it be on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, you name it. Like it'll be all across the globe. That's a SNA fans. Keep on watching, and then keep on watching my past videos from the past 2 months. All over my like all of the 60 videos that I made from before this one. Make sure you check it out. And I guess that this is gonna be it for this is gonna be the end of my video. I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin. This is the latest edition of the SNA podcast, episode 63, and this is the AEW Collision Part 8 review, and we're gonna have the wrestling news tomorrow afternoon, and it's gonna be the wrestling news part 13, I believe. Episode part 13, and make sure y'all check that out. And yeah, this is the end of the SNA podcast. Hope you enjoyed. But in the meantime, just keep watching my YouTube content, and stay tuned and keep on YouTube and into the wrestling internet community and all of professional wrestling and all of everything else that's out there on YouTube. But I hope y'all have a great night. Super Ninja Austin, the Assassin, out.